Okay, I am back again with our Sweetest Honey Layout 2 tips and tricks. Okay, so this is Layout 2. Here's the left side. Okay, and here's the right side. All right, and what I want to talk to you about today is placement of these cork shapes onto the background, because of course the background paper or the base paper for this layout is the patterned paper. I also want to talk to you about layering your title, Be Kind, if you're using it, because that's from the Cricut bundle. Also, if you have the Cricut bundle, just one thing about the bees, and then how to assemble your honeycombs. They both work the same way, just one is bigger than the other. And then I want to talk about putting some patterned paper behind these honeycomb shapes. And that, I believe, is it for this layout too. Okay, so I think we'll get the really quick ones out of the way first. So I used the largest honeycomb shape, which is this one, on my layout. Okay, right here, you can see here and here. All right, and if we pull the camera in just a little closer, okay, you can see on the background paper, okay, or the base pages, there's actually these honeycomb shapes already here. And so all I did was take the backing off, because all of the honeycomb shapes are adhesive backed. Okay, and then the one I just put on here, and you could even do it over here if you wanted to, and just trim off the extra and use that someplace else. And then I put one here as a solid in the center, just like that. You just have to pull the adhesive backing off, and that is it. Like, it is so simple to do this and so effective. Okay, so that's that one. And then I want to show you how I went about putting the backing on this one. So that's this shape. All right, and I punched out carefully all these small honeycombs, which can be used on your cards or your layouts, whatever you like. Okay, and I'm just punching these all out very carefully. Okay, and they're not in there tightly. Okay, as you'll see, as soon as you bring the carrier sheet out, that they're all very loosely attached in there. Okay, and I have a piece of this patterned paper, which is the striped on the back. Okay, and all I'm going to do is just take the backing off of the honeycomb carefully, because we don't want to rip the cork. Okay, and then I'm just going to add it to the paper, and I'm just lining up this edge with the edge of the paper, because then it's one less angle to cut. Okay, and then I'm just going to make sure it's firmly attached. I'm going to use my fussy cut scissors. First thing I'm going to do is get rid of all that extra paper. Okay, so cutting right along there. Okay, and then these are all just straight cuts. Okay, so it's very easy to do. And as you know, if you've watched me do fussy cutting before, I like to get rid of as much of the extra paper as I can as I go along, just because that makes the cutting that comes after all that much easier. So you just go all the way around like that. No big deal. Easy peasy. Very quick, simple way to just jazz up one of your embellishments or more. I used this one with paper from the paper pack behind it, all done. And then I also did one with black cardstock right here. All right, and this is the one I was talking about, where I ripped the thin part that goes across the big honeycomb, so I had to stack more on top of it so that they looked like I meant that to happen. Okay, so that's that. I'm just going to push all of that over to the side, because we are done with that. All right. And now I want to talk to you about layering your letters. All right, I'm going to work on this, the white photo placeholder just so it's easier for you to see. All right, make sure you've got them all turned in the right direction. Where'd my bee go? All right, so the black is the bottom layer. And then you're going to place your top layer on top of each one. Just so you make sure you have them all. And you want to grab your liquid glue. All right, and so what you want to do is just move the top layer over to the right a little bit. You can also move it down a little bit if you want, but that's entirely up to you. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here. And I'm keeping my glue if it wants to come out here. I'm almost at the end of the bottle. And it always gives me a hard time when I'm near the end. Like sometimes it won't come out and then other times it blobs out and I never know when that's going to happen. Come on. I know you want to work with me here. There we go. Okay, and so because I'm layering a little bit, I'm going to just keep my glue in the center. I'm just going to show you what I mean. Pick that up. Okay, so you see I just have the glue in the center of each of the pieces of the shape. Okay, and then I'm going to just move it over a little bit. Like that. Okay, and that's all there is to it, really. I'm going to go ahead and do the E. And again, I'm just going to put a little bit into the center of the shape. I don't want any adhesive on the outer edge because it will be wasted. Okay. So that's how that one's going to go. Just a little bit more. Happy with that. So there's the E. Here we go, here we go. Okay, that one's out too far. Okay, you don't have to worry about each letter being the same. All right, in actual fact, I like them to be a little different. All right, I want it to be me. Okay, and perfection is something you get when you go to the store and buy something pre-made. All right, that is it for the layering of the letters. Okay, and now there's just one thing about the bee. Now I know if you've ordered the Cricut bundle, okay, that you have done this layering thing before. Okay, and you know the bee is 3 layers. And that is the same for both bees, big and small. This is the big one. Okay, the bottom layer is your shortbread, and then is the pattern paper, and then is the black on top. Okay, and I just wanted to show you, all right, that the body is what's the patterned paper, and that's only going to be behind the center of the bee. It's not going to be behind the wings at all. It's going to look just like that. So I'm going to put my glue actually on the black piece. And again, I just want just a little touch here, not a lot. Okay, and so I did that the wrong way around. Okay, well, we'll be all right. The glue is still wet. I can get it off, right? Okay, and so here I go onto the back side, which is where I want it in the first place. Okay, and I want the Sundance pattern, the gold pattern, to be facing up. Okay, so I'm putting it together that way. Okay, and that's it. All right, and then this whole thing will go on to the shortbread piece, which is the background piece. Okay, pretty bee. Now, in some cases, you may have received a bee, especially with the smaller one that's missing one antenna. Okay, and what I did with that was after I had it put together, I just took my black journaling pen, so that would be on this one right here. Okay, and I just drew the line in. Okay, sometimes with these really fine lines, it's just impossible with the Cricut to get exactly the effect that you want. And see on this bee, he's got one thin antenna and one thick one. And that's just the way they come out. Okay, so that's the bee. Sorry, I forgot to turn my ringer off on my phone. Okay, so what's left? The honeycomb. All right, so you've got two sizes of honeycomb, and I want to work on this again so you can see it better. Okay, and this is the large one. All right, and then you've got all these pieces that are cut to fit. Now, when you get the bag, if you've ordered the bundle, all right, you'll see that I've separated them. They're in separate bags so that you don't get the strips mixed up, but each one is sized to fit. And so you'll see I've got my original right next to me here so that I can see where the pattern paper is going, all right? And so this one is the top, and it's the same order for the smaller honeycomb as well. Okay, and then comes the shortbread cardstock, and you can use the dark side or the light side, doesn't matter. And then comes the Sundance floral pattern. Okay, and then comes the bees. And then the stripes. Okay, now for some reason this one here, the bees, doesn't really fit very well. And I don't know why that happened, but I'm pretty sure yours are going to be good. Okay, and then the last one at the bottom is the black honeycomb patterned paper. And that's all there is to it. Okay, and then once you've got them all placed, you can just add your glue on the back of each one separately. And then they're going to look like that. Okay, I think that's it for layout 2. If you have any questions or any problems at all, please leave me your notes in the comments. You can email me or text me, and we will be talking to you soon.